r/leopards ate my face. Okay, I think it's time everyone who voted for Trump admit that we made a f***ing mess. Okay, but you literally voted for Trump. My vote for Tweet of the Day. Well, on one hand, we shredded our alliance with all of Europe, our strong trading relationships, and our role as a leader of the developed nations. But on the other hand, we've built strong ties with El Salvador, one of the poorest Latin American countries, so its dictator could imprison our people. Because I used to be a Trump supporter, I engage with Trump supporters every day. Always have. 4 Trump supporters today told me the exact same thing. This is not what I voted for. 4 random Trump supporters, just today. Slowly, I'm hearing this more and more from his supporters. Hi, yeah, remember those young voters with student loans who sat out or voted Trump because Biden wasn't doing enough? Biden won big with young voters. This year though, they swung towards Trump in a big way. Breaking news, Education Department says it will begin collection on student loans for over 5 million borrowers in default. Imagine drowning in student loan debt and thinking the dude that slapped his name on a money-snatching diploma mill was gonna have your back. Best get to doing that field work, them loans ain't gonna pay themselves. One could say they're not the brightest of the bunch. Cut funding and hurt those liberals harder, daddy. A few moments later. The number of counties receiving significant federal assistance has ballooned since 2000. In 2000, there were only 317 counties in the country where 25% or more of the residents' income came from government assistance, primarily in Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security payments. By 2020, that number has ballooned up to 1,986 counties. What is particularly dangerous for Mr. Trump is that almost 80% of these counties supported Republicans in previous elections. The US State Department advises US citizens not to travel to the US. If you're thinking about traveling to a country with a level 4 travel advisory, don't. Curious about what a level 4 travel advisory could mean for your trip? We'll break it down. The US State Department issues level 4 do not travel advisories when there is a high chance of you experiencing kidnapping, wrongful detention, terrorism, political instability, or outbreaks of infectious disease, and in places where the US government may not be able to provide assistance. In short, just don't. It's not worth the risk. Before booking any trip abroad, we strongly encourage you to visit travel.state.gov for Department State guidance on the safety of your destination. TLDR, do not visit level 4 countries, including your own by the looks of it. It's not like he didn't fully advertise his intentions or anything. I did not think for 1 second he was gonna go this crazy. Wall Street's Rude Awakening by Jen Weishner. What they actually mean is, I thought he was saying a bunch of bullshit to impress the rubes, but he'd never be so stupid and politically suicidal to cost rich people their money. I think what they mean is, I didn't pay attention to all the crazy stuff he wanted to do in his first term, and people like Kelly Mattis and even Barron Sessions stopped him from doing. Musk wants to leave politics because he's tired of the attacks from the left. The guy isn't in politics. Nobody voted for him. He didn't do shit, stole a shit ton of data, government spending is actually up, ruined the careers of thousands of people, and then decided, nah, not for me. Doesn't matter if he leaves the Trump administration tomorrow, he's made his bed. Also, when you're a fascist, everything looks to be the left of you. What an absolute piece of shit. Yeah, he really made a genius move bankrolling Trump just for Tesla to lose 30% of its stock value. So smart. Rapper voted for Trump, regrets it, and now moving to a social democratic Nordic country? Ailia Banks reveals why she moved to Sweden after expressing regret over voting for Trump. It must be nice to just pack up and leave. Maybe she should just be forced to live in this mess with the rest of us though. I'm honestly tired of hearing about her. She's always involved in some shit and stirring the pot. And now all those things she said, and now that the things she said and done are backfiring on her, and making her even less popular. Didn't even know that was possible, to be honest. She's crying on social media for sympathy. She should have just kept her mouth shut and stuck to selling her soaps? The fuck? Honestly, I didn't know she was a rapper. I thought her fame was a result of her being unhinged. Like, it used to just be incredibly obnoxious tweets towards celebrities to start beef. Hey, I know a nice holiday resort in El Salvador she might enjoy. She voted to make the US a fascist dictatorship and then bailed. Must be nice to be this self-absorbed and have the resources to do it. That's the key part. Well, better get me and my millions of dollars the fuck out of here. Leave all these poor suckers to sort it out. Lol, she ain't worth that much. She's worth enough to pick up and move to a faraway country in a matter of 2 to 3 months, which is more than a shitload of people could possibly do. The stock market crashing is causing some post-nut clarities. Democrats are finding harder to return a gang member to the country than protecting the country from gang members. You've destroyed the dollar, Americans' 401k1 retirements, union pension funds, kids' education savings funds, and corporations we work for. I regret voting for Trump. S&P down 2.6%. I regret voting for Trump, and that Democrats didn't put the criminal imbecile Trump in prison for his stupid crookeries. $1.5 trillion was wiped out from the stock market today. For the first time since 1981, investors are dumping America across the board. In the past month, the S&P 500 down 10%, US dollar index down 5%, 10-year treasury yields up 10 BPS. So much regret voting for Trump, huh? See, I voted for Trump, but it's actually the Democrats' fault because they didn't put him in jail, is some of the stupidest shit I've heard today. He may have been imprisoned if he hadn't been re-elected. This man actively helped to prevent Trump from being imprisoned, and now blames Democrats? Also, Democrats weren't putting Trump in prison. That would be the Justice Department and the courts. He probably would be. If Smith's report wasn't damning, they'd not have fought so hard to suppress it. Now, it sits in the bottom of a shredder. Trump voting owner of a clothing brand, shocked that Trump is bad for business? It's not like he bankrupted a bunch of companies before. I founded an athleisure brand and voted for Trump 3 times. Here's why tariffs could be bad for business. Steve Borelli founded Cuts Clothing, an athleisure wear brand, in 2016. He also voted for Donald Trump 3 times and continues to support him. Borelli says if Trump wants to bring back US manufacturing, businesses need more time and support. All Trump shit is made in China. I wonder if he knows that. Don't worry, if anyone needs a new red hat or some gold shoes to proudly proclaim to the entire world what a moron they are, I'm sure there'll be a carve-out for these essential products. It's a good thing they're buying stuff like the hats. It allows us who have creases in our brains to see them coming and take evasive action. MS-13 and Trendy Oagua should start wearing MAGA hats. Then it'll become a sign of gang membership. I need this to happen. Hook, line, and sinker. I supported Donald Trump in his presidency. I was behind him in comparison to Harris, believing he would end the Russia-Ukraine war, reduce unemployment, lower inflation, create jobs. But his current actions since this tariff made me realize that he is selfish and cannot provide the necessary growth America needs. Right now, I'm one of his biggest critics. He's not fit for presidency and to lead his country to that greatness. I will stand against him. I want Donald Trump out of the White House. I swear, people just treat politics like a team sport now. What? Expecting me to do research on a candidate before voting for them? You're stupid. No one ever does that. You believed this despite literally all available facts that said otherwise. Propaganda is a hell of a drug. Nah, they were fine with any and all of the bullshit. The one difference now is that they've been hurt by the fire, so now they want him gone. You reap what you sow. You mean Trump actually did everything he campaigned on? What? You've got me heated over there from that Facebook post. Welcome to my liberal life, lol. I'm just not proud to admit that I feel stupid now. I'm definitely Republican, but I don't know what the fuck this man's trying to do. Destroy everything, evidently. And he's not even trying to hide it. Nope. We're gonna end up in the fields. We can't even have any more babies. But it wasn't hidden through his whole campaign, lol. It was for idiots like me, I guess. I can't defend myself anymore. This is terrible. I gotta admit, good on that person for admitting, without blaming others, that they made a terrible mistake. Maybe there is hope for that person, at least for the next election cycle. Be gentle on the one who has seen the light. Hopefully the change is permanent with some coaxing. I'm torn on some of these. I think it'll be a decade or two before we'll be able to look back with clarity and see just how badly people were manipulated. It's absolute child's play to control what people see and hear, track what their emotional tripwires are, and tailor advertising, articles, news feeds, everything, to manipulate what they do accordingly. It's not even rocket science, or difficult. It's basic advertising technology used by every CPG company out there. They're still being manipulated, and the hardcore dismantling of the education system is just going to work towards making this even more difficult to break. I'm not saying education is the only way to have critical thinking skills, but it certainly helps. And taking it away makes it more difficult for those not naturally prone to having those types of skills. Fully agree. I think that's why we've seen steadily increasing efforts to undermine it for the last 20 plus years. The entire arse-backwards way we fund schools with property taxes, religious voucher programs, people forced into education that teaches them what to think, are way easier to manipulate than the people who were taught how to think. See also why teaching to the test is so poisonous to child development. Personally, I listen for what the person is saying now. If they're full on wanting to execute LGBT folks, deport American citizens, anything that tells me they actively chose to embrace hate, but when I hear someone's views in a way that suggests they were made out of fear, that's different to me. Because fear is really easy to create and manipulate. Convince someone their children are in danger, and they'll do almost anything. Those people I'll try and reach, and I've had pretty good success doing it. But it takes time, energy, and a lot of patience. It's not for everyone. Guy who helped dismantle US aid gets fired. Rubio's firing of Marico ignites a MAGA world meltdown. When Marco Rubio fired the man in charge of dismantling US aid, he made enemies inside the MAGA movement. Peter Marico, the Trump administration official in charge of dismantling US aid, left a meeting at the White House last week to return to his office at the State Department. But when he arrived, Marico could no longer enter the building. Security told him he was no longer an employee there. All a part of the plan. Get someone to do the deed and fire them after. Look how hard Elon got burned, lol. Edit. Elon is fucked with a good majority of the world's view on him. It's just a matter of time till he touches the sun. This is how Trump has always operated though. He has zero loyalty whatsoever. He fights some Republican lackey every other week during his first term. He loves to make them scapegoats. Just look how badly he burned Giuliani. Worst month in the market since 1932. Quite the accomplishment, MAGA. It's so funny how the r/conservative sub went completely silent on economic/stock market news since Trump took office. It was their biggest issue every single day when they weren't in power. Because it was never about economy. Economy is just a shtick. I'm convinced it's never about anything. There is no issue that they truly care about more than the extent to which it benefits Trump. Even the people who claim to love and want to preserve the Constitution would applaud if he went on national television and physically tore it to shreds. They have no principles, no beliefs that they hold sacred, nothing. They wouldn't immediately pivot on as soon as their dear leader told them to. Exactly, just like a team sport. The US economy is now behaving like that of a developing country. Once again today, US stocks are down, the dollar is down, and bond yields are higher. This is incredibly odd for the United States. Go back to the financial crisis, to COVID, to any time there's a whiff of panic about a slowing economy, stocks are down, yes, but the dollar shoots higher as global investors pile into safe havens, and US Treasury yields drop sharply. This reaction can be helpful. It cushions the economic blow, Lower treasury yields mean falling mortgage rates, falling borrowing rates, and so forth. A stronger dollar gives US consumers more purchasing power, so imported goods are cheaper. But now we're not getting that. We're getting higher bond yields. We're getting a cheaper dollar, which means the cost of imported goods is going higher. Even on top of whatever tariffs will now apply, this is the uncomfortable position developing markets can often face in a crisis. Hey truckers! Many truckers I've spoken to don't realize how quickly container volumes have collapsed. Starting in May, port freight out of California will be almost eliminated. It's going to be a bloodbath, followed by an intermodal and then a collapse in I-20 and I-40 trucking. I'm a trucker, and so many of my co-workers voted for him. One even has a Trump bobblehead glued to his dash. The mental gymnastics these guys go through is crazy. They still think Trump will make everything great in just a few more days. On a related note, one of our competitors had a giant Truckers for Trump flag flying during the election and all up until about a month ago. It's gone now, and they're laying off drivers. I'm sorry that's going to affect your livelihood. Lots of us got in the line of fire, even though we could see what was coming and voted the opposite way. A trader panicking watching the stock market crumble next to his Trump altar. Dow tumbles 700 points as Trump knocks Powell and investors await trade deals. Stocks fell again on Monday as President Donald Trump ramped up his attacks on Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell, raising questions about the central bank's independence, while traders received little signs of progress on global trade talks. Aw, what's that? Trump's mad at one of the only people in government he can't touch or influence? Oh no. Cultist has lost so much money since the start of Trump's administration. He's still a supporter though. Trump approval ratings fall to 42%, lowest since the return to the White House. As it turns out, Americans don't like having their net worth via stocks and crypto wiped out in 3 months. I'm a supporter, but this has been a terrible, terrible start to this administration. Many of these people got you elected, believing you were gonna help him. Instead, so many have been hurt and lost life savings. Yep, I voted for Trump. Would vote for AOC over him today. You're too stupid to be investing in the first place. Sit down, you little self-centered twat. Since when does the market only go up? Never, you dumbass. Tell us more about your feelings and why the world revolves around you. Then tell us how incredibly stupid you are. Shut the fuck up, bitch. I've lost more in the last 3 months than you'll ever make in your whole life. A fact for a clown. Business owner regrets voting for Trump, but still enthusiastically supports him. I enthusiastically supported Trump's victory in the November election. I thought I was voting for pro-business policies and small, targeted and incremental tariffs that would encourage the production of strategic industries to return to the Americas, i.e. what we got in the first administration. I didn't vote for a neutron bomb to wipe out the supply chains and small businesses 100 days in. Honest question, what made you believe that Trump has the intellect and integrity to be a good president? It's a two-party system. You pick the one that you think was gonna better align with your views. What, making money, you greedy bitch? I was betting on Trump doing pro-business policies like we saw him in his first term. Did you not listen to Trump talk about the tariffs on the campaign trail? I've listened to the politicians on both sides make crazy promises. I look at what they've done, not what they've said, and there was a tariff playbook in Admin 1 that worked. I mean, if you're gonna look at both politicians, maybe you should look at what Trump's also done in his long history of making bad decisions and being a bad person. How much of the bomb damage can be reversed if he did a 180? I think most, if not all. There's still time. And okay chat, I've got some homework for you guys to do. If you guys want to go on Twitter, it's Twitter, not X, you should totally look up in the search section, quote, I voted for you, but... and then with real Donald Trump, or without. Either would work, to be honest. And you'll get a treasure trove of Trump regret. At real Donald Trump, I'm a Republican my entire life and I'm 69. And I voted for you, but you are a very big disappointment. My grocery bill is increasing, my 401k is dropping like a stone. Please quit now. You're bad. Leave the office. Ain't real Donald Trump. I voted for you, but I'm pretty certain that I didn't vote for you to destroy my retirement portfolio that I spent 40 plus years building. Think before you speak, please. Try to be presidential. The thing is, if there was a special election held tomorrow, every single one of these people would line up and vote for Trump again. Oh yeah, no doubt. I just like to see the tiniest hint of cognitive dissonance poke through their mental firewalls, even if we all know it wouldn't really change their behaviour at all. Also, to be honest, I've developed a taste for conservative tears. I'm ashamed to have sunk so low. Well, yeah, for sure. That's why I don't feel bad about making fun of them.